Thank you very much for the wonderful message.
The Liberian Senate, Capitol Building, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. Third session, 55th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia, Tuesday, January 20, 2026. Agenda order of business. 1. Call to order. 2. Devotion. 3. Roll call. 4. Reading adoption of the agenda. 5. Unfinished business. 6. Report from standing committees. 7. Business of President Sticks. A. Communications from the House of Representatives submitting houses and gross bill. Bills numbers 1 and 3 entitled an act to amend Part 1, Chapter 1 of the Liberian Revenue Code by introducing a new subchapter D to establish a legal framework for tax incentive and expenditure management, and an act to amend the Amended Act of 1972 establishing the John F. Kennedy Memorial Medical Center to elevate the Tubman National Institute of Medical Arts, TNIMA, from a diploma granting institution to a full degree granting institution in the Republic of Liberia, unquote. B. Communication from Senator Thomas Yayanima of Grand County requesting excuse from office beginning Wednesday, January 21 to Friday, January 23, 2026. C. Preview an update from senators 3 minutes each. 8. Any other business, non-adjournment. Madam President, for temporary and presiding officer, distinguished senators, the reading of the draft agenda for today's sitting.
Distinguished colleagues, you've heard the reading of the draft agenda for today's sitting. What is your will and pleasure, Senator Momosara?
Thank you, Madam President, for the opportunity. Madam President, please, having listened to the agenda for today, I move, if I'm certain that the agenda be received by the plenary and is open for discussion.
It's been moved and seconded that the agenda of today's sitting be received and open for discussion. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea.
Morning.
Morning.
I brought it 2 feet.
Congratulations. Congratulations to Bima. Job well done. We're waiting for the celebration to come. Any intervention to the agenda? No intervention, motion to adopt. All in favor say yea. Any further discussion among this issue? Second is
First communication from the House of Representatives. Office of the Chief Clerk, January 13, 2025. The Honorable Liberian Senate in session, Capitol Building, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. Honorable Pro Tem and members, I have the honor by directive of the Honorable House of Representatives in session to forward here to attach houses in gross bill number 1 entitled an act to amend Part 1, Chapter 1 of the Liberian Revenue Code by introducing a new sub-chapter D to establish a legal framework for tax incentive and Expenditure Management. The above-mentioned bill was passed into the full force of the law by the Honorable House of Representatives on Tuesday, January 13, 2026 at the hour of 11:16 GMT during its regular session, and hereby request your timely concurrence. Please accept, Honorable Pro Tem members, the reassurance of my highest esteem. Sincerely yours, Mildred and Sarah, Chief Clerk. Madam Pro Tem? Yeah. Read the second one?
Yeah.
January 15, 2026. The Honorable Liberian Senate in session, Capitol Building, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. Honorable Pro Tem and members have the honor by directive of the Honorable House of Representatives in session the forward year to attached Houses and Gross Bill number 3 entitled in court an act to amend the Amended Act of 1972 establishing a John F. Kennedy Memorial Medical Center to elevate the Tubman National Institute of Medical Arts, DNRMA, from a diploma granting institution to a 4-degree granting institution in the Republic of Liberia, unquote. The above-mentioned bill was passed into the full force of the law by the Honorable House of Representatives on Thursday, December 11, 2025 at the hour of 16:47 GMT during its regular session, and hereby request your timely concurrence. Please accept, Honorable Pro Tem and members, the renewed assurance of my highest esteem. Sincerely yours, Mildred and Sarah, the Honorable Chief Clerk, House of Representatives. Madam President.
It was brought to my understanding that the first act was already read here in the committee room. But distinguished colleagues, refer the reading of 2 communications submitting 2 bills from the House of Representatives for concurrence, entitled an act to amend Part 1, Chapter 1 of the Liberian Revenue Code by introducing a new subchapter D to establish a legal framework for tax incentives and expenditure management. And that is already in committee room. The second one is an act to amend the Amended Act of 1972 establishing the John F. Kennedy Memorial Medical Center to elevate the Tubman National Institute of Medical Arts, TNIMA, from a diploma granting institution to a 4-degree granting institution in the Republic of Liberia. What is your will and pleasure? For concurrence from the House of Representatives, Senator Brown.
Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues, having heard a reading from a communication from the House of Representatives submitting a bill seeking to amend the 1972 Act that established the JFK Medical Center so as to elevate the Tubman National Institute of Medical Arts to a 4-degree status. I move that this communication be received and the bill be referred to Committee on Health and Education. I so move.
We've already stated the motion I read before.
Ready.
Already, that's Senator Bubusaros.
Thank you, President. I would be very grateful if the movement can kindly consider this amendment to his motion that waste means the final be added, simplified. There will be cost attached for diplomat to the university. There will be cost attached. Running the university.
Waste means the finance?
Yes, waste means the finance.
Moving.
Problem, I think it's incumbent upon every committee to do fiscal impact analysis, even though the Ways and Means. But the two committees should do the fiscal impact analysis, and so the Ways and Means will be there, but to put them officially, I want to honorably disagree, because the two committees will have the opportunity to do the fiscal impact analysis on this bill.
So there will be no cost of that.
There will be, the one said the committee should do the fiscal impact analysis, not the Ways and Means.
Any other readiness? With that, are you ready to vote?
Ready?
All in favor say yea.
Yeah.
Against. You want to ask? Senator Yap, is here?
Is it from tomorrow?
So, yeah, read the communication.
January 19, 2026. Honorable Nyomi Kaka Lawrence, President Pro Tempore, Liberian Senate 55th Legislature, Capitol Building, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. Dear Honorable Pro Tempore, I present my sincere compliments and write to respectfully inform you I will be away from my office as of Wednesday, January 21, 2026 to Friday, January 23, 2026 to attend the dedication program for referral hospital constructed by the German government in Grand County. The event is a significant milestone achievement in the health sector of Grand County, Liberia, Grand County, Liberia as a whole, and my presence is required as caucus chair of the county. Respectfully, Senator Thomas Hanime, Chairman Grand GDD Caucus. Madam Pro Tem and members of the Senate, reading for communication from Senator Hanime of Grand GDD County.
That was a communication from Senator Yap. For his schools. I think it's looked at. It's put on the record.
Okay.
Thank you.
Briefing and update from senators.
So we started the committee briefing on last week, Thursday, and we're continuing today. We're not going to go in line of counties. So if you're ready for a briefing, you can raise your hand and we'll recognize you to come up to continue. Anyone who's ready. Senator Chair. When they approach the president.
Madam Pro Tem and distinguished police, just a little bit briefing from the Committee on Public Works. During the last sitting, we passed our concession, a road concession length of 255 kilometers at a cost of approximately 363 million for certain roads in Western Liberia and Northwestern Liberia, from St. Paul Bridge all the way to Old Waterside. That will be expanded to 4 lanes. We have Medina to Ravos Boat, Kilmore will benefit. We have from Clay to Former Burr, Bomi will benefit. And we have from Wajima to Melikoma, to the place where our three countries, Guinea, Sierra Leone, they converge. So that concession was ratified by us, the Senate. It has been signed by the President. Now it's awaiting publication into handbills. Shortly, we have been informed that probably by mid-February, the President will do groundbreaking for the commencement of those roads. And we are also being informed that the concession here has already begun mobilizing. There's a lot of equipment now coming by ship and some by roads to start the work during this dry season. So there's hope for good roads in the West. The only thing that we didn't pick it up at that time, the concession was, Popul was left out. And so right now there's active discussion on the road segment from Guaville to Popul City. Already a Korean company has done a feasibility studies and presented a cost of approximately $134 million for that road to the government. And the government is having bilateral discussions with the government of Korea and other agencies to see how that road can be funded. We also passed the zoning law, and that law has now been sent to the House for concurrence. When it is enacted and signed and put into handbills, we hope to see orderly development of infrastructure across the country so that our people can start building in other ways, so that land use can be effectively programmed, which there should be commercial activities to be set aside from residential areas, farming zones, agricultural zones, aviation zones, and various zones. We must talk about yellow machines. Finally, all will be in Liberia very shortly. They have been shipped in batches, and from now to March, all have been shipped to Liberia. 285 pieces. The issue now will be how to operate them. So there are discussions on preparing the counties to receive them, building the appropriate infrastructure. And it was good that during a review of the pricing structure, 11 cents was placed in the pricing structure for each gallon of fuel. And that money will be placed in an escrow account, and that will help to, besides any other voluntary appropriation, that will help to operate those machines. So those will be good for the counties, and we look forward to receiving them. At the close of the year, I gave each senator a status report on all the road works that have been constructed throughout the country, from primary roads, secondary roads, and farm to market roads. Those that are being done this year, last year rather, and the plans for this year. I hope you are going through that. And shortly, we invite the Minister of Public Works, probably the Committee of the Whole, to gave us status reports so that you can have the opportunity to interact with him. I hope you are reading through, because all the counties, all the roads, whether urban area, rural areas, all the roads are captured in here in this report. The one is dated from April to August 2025. So we look in there, look for your roads. If your counties are not mentioned there, let us know so that we can raise the issue of the Minister of Public Works. That is a short briefing that I have for plenary today. Thank you. Oh, Grand Crew, don't worry, I can't be here. Someone must have been Grand Crew.
Thank you, sir. That was the voice of the Chair on Public Works. Also highlighting the results from our robust oversight to contribute to the payment of the yellow machines for all of the counties. Anybody else? Senator Sobel, approach the podium. Senator. Would like to welcome Senator Tyler back to session and again express
DNA, thank you. Welcome.
sympathy for the loss of his mother, and say thank you to all of the senators who want to represent the Senate at the feast. You know what you think you're pushing up his darling?
Okay. That is so that put them for you.
Senator Kuka, sit down. Feeling welcome in the mayor, sit down. You talking? A pleasant good morning to all of us. Over the break, I made a quick trip to Freetown, 7 years on the invitation of an organization. Senator Kuka,
Please listen to the Chair of Maritime and the Senator from Riverview. Senator Koga, you are welcome to represent the town.
and happy New Year to you too. I was invited, like I said, by an organization over there for some activities we've been having over the years. I had a pleasant time in Sierra Leone, Freetown, and got back, and I'm here to session. Let me also state that I was monitoring all of the sessions you've been having online. Just to be clear. Okay. So, firstly, Madam Pro Tem and fellow colleagues have raised an issue to plenary through a communication concerning the list implementation of some of these projects in our counties that are undone. The city hall in Fishtown, Riverview County, has been abandoned at latest level, and we don't know where it is. This plenary was formed. To date, nothing has been done. We've gotten no redress, and I'm bringing it back to this city so we do something about it. We need to have this thing. Riverview is not a stepchild to this country. We cannot be behind in every other development when it comes to infrastructure development in Liberia. Let me also add that our people were on strike yesterday because of the LEC issue. I followed the discussion with Senator Dupo, raised it the other time, and I heard what's going on, but it has become exacerbated by the fact that the people themselves are rising up and not listening to us. That tells you how serious it is. You can't be paying money every month. You get no services for this money. And once you refuse to pay, they disconnect your wire to go and put it back a different issue. Protect, we need to take this thing very, very, very seriously because our people are living in darkness. Let me congratulate Nima Kante also. Let me congratulate Nima Kante for winning the county meet. That was a valuable event. I'd like to remind all of us that the county meet reason for being in existence is to develop unity, foster peace amongst ourselves, and to harness our new talents. Colleagues, the county meet have become a breeding ground for conflict now. Everybody wants to win at all costs, and so the empire themselves are beginning to cheat for other people. This is an issue. There's a need for the Committee on Sports to call the ministry here and let's actually discuss these things to know where we are. To the extent where the LFA itself is now investigating their own referees, has suspended a few of them. This is not acceptable. We've placed a bill on this floor that was passed by this Senate and sent it to the House for concurrence to allow this county meet to be used for developmental activities in our various counties. This is what we should be looking at. And not fighting to give somebody $100 to make sure that they cheat for you so you win. To the extent what Nova County using 5 division players. I don't say it. I don't say it. I think about that. Colleagues, the issue of salary irregularities amongst our local chiefs and elders has yet to be resolved. It was brought on this floor. We sent it to the Committee on Internal Affairs. To date, we have not heard anything, and it continues to perpetuate. We will not allow our people to be working and don't even know how much money you're supposed to pay. If it is $100, let them know it's $100. Let it not be 100 today and 25 tomorrow. I will be recommunicating to this plenary again for your consideration. But we need to solve this problem, solve it once and for all. The Maritime Committee, I hear someone say that won't make committees. So, the Maritime Committee, people are, thank you. The Committee on Maritime is faring very well. The entity is doing exceptionally well, I must add. To the fact that the International Maritime Organization has re-elected us in category A on that committee again. This is unprecedented. Not only that, there have been a landmark agreement signed by the Shanghai University for the training of Liberians, seafarers, and other people who will be interested in the maritime activities in China. These are laudable things we can talk about. When things are condemnable, we will condemn them, but when they are laudable, we will praise them. In this case, the Maritime Affairs is doing very well. And it will be remiss of us not to say so. Distinguished colleagues, I'm glad to be back with you. Happy New Year to all of us, and may God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Sokoy, I was the voice of the chair of Maritime, Senator for Georgia County. Who else is taking the podium? Senator Yaya Newman, followed by Senator Douglas Brown.
don't know what we're gonna be here.
The mega 4,000. Thank you, Project. Let's start
From the Ministry of Labor. Last year we have had so many issues that were labor related, issues that dealt with the need to hire our citizens. And one of the large decisions that was made was to raise the price of work permit from $1,000 to $3,000. And that was approved by the executive branch of government. So today, the work permit is $3,000. That is going to encourage the employment of our citizens. Now that we have entered 2026, the committee will follow up with the Ministry of Labor to find out how they are proceeding with the vacancies that are beginning to exist in the various entities, so that we know how many of our citizens have been hired. Secondly, the issue of Burkinabés. Burkinabés are coming and they are leaving now from the southeastern region to central Liberia and to the northern part of Liberia. Good. Currently we have 60,000 plus in Grangida County, and those 60,000 persons were given documents by the Ministry by Immigration. And I thought that the purpose of that document was to allow free movement of the people. But that free movement is not being given by immigration at the various checkpoints in the Republic. Everywhere the Burkinabés try to pass, will have to pay $20 US, which is the TV from. So they will have to pay. So the harassment has increased. And the motorcyclists that are ferrying these people from point A to point B are also having problems at the checkpoints. We'll come back to checkpoints. From the 60s, checkpoints have been in this country. We understand Liberia is a republic. And when a country is a republic, it has the leverage of choosing whether it wants to be military, whether it wants to be dictatorship. It can choose where it wants to go. But once that country is a republic and it chooses to become democratic, then it has to take on the democratic principles. And one of the major democratic principles in this country is the freedom of movement. So we ask ourselves, from here to Uganda, there are 3 major checkpoints. What are the purposes of these checkpoints? December 2025, December 23, 2025, I was traveling to Grangida for the season. And I met the NTA bus with about 16 passengers on that bus to Salala Gate. The bus stopped and everybody got down according to the procedure of the checkpoint. And there were only 2 Mandingo people in the offices of the immigration that were being processed. The rest of the 58 people were lying down on the cargo waiting for these 2 Mandingo people who lived in Monrovia that are being processed. 2 Mandingo people, because they are Mohammed and they are Jalo. And they live in this country, and they have been living in this country. 58 Liberians are lying down on the border waiting for these people to be processed. They are being processed at Salala Gate, and once they leave that gate, there will be no document given to them from the immigration that these 2 people have been processed on this bus. When you get to Ghana, please release them. And when they get to Ghana, please release them. these people are at the mercy of their pockets. So when they get to Banga, you have to pay. When they get to Ganda, you have to pay. When they get to Zwedru, Central River, you will pay. And when they get to the next gate before you enter Zwedru, you will pay. This is how far our democracy is leading us. I passed by my citizens that are going for 20 July 26 and other citizens of different counties. I passed by them because as soon as they saw 716, they ran and opened the gate for me quickly. But the citizens of this country that elected me to be here was detained at the checkpoint unless they pay. I enter Central River, Grand Gile County, as soon as you cross the bridge, for those of you who have not gone to Grand Gile. On the bridge, you will see welcome to Grand Gile. As soon as you cross the bridge, there's a checkpoint. You will not enter Grand Gile, there's a checkpoint. I saw about 20 motorcycles with passengers going to Grand Gile and about 10 coming from Grand Gile. That checkpoint detained those people unless they pay. They have to pay before you enter the county. And when you are paying, you will pay the immigration officer, you will pay the LDA, you will pay the NSA, then you will pay the FDA. So most likely you will pay about $500 before you pass, LD before you pass. And it's with every checkpoint. Where are we? These checkpoints are not checking laws. They only after the motorcyclists. You pay, you buy. You don't pay, you don't go. And as soon as they saw my car, they raised the gate. And my COS was saying, I said, Chief, that your citizens there, they're not going to cross. I said, well, this is the country we have seen. Let's go. And we pass. I could have stopped to open that gate and let my citizens enter the county to celebrate with their family members. But I choose to bring it here first. I need to bring it here first. I want you to hear it. These checkpoints in this country are too many and they are meaningless. They are meaningless to the security of this country. They are only meaningful to the pockets of our security. And I'm bringing it here on this floor, and I will take it to DSI committee. The checkpoints are too many, and the harassment is too much. Men are checking women in these small rooms, and if you don't find what you're looking for, you find money, you take the money, and you have to negotiate with that person. I told you one time that a woman lost $1 million Liberian in Grand Gile County, and today it was fruitless. She never got her money back. So I think we need to start defining what our democracy is. We are stagnated to the freedom of movement. Our freedom of movement in this country is questionable. Let us try not to leave our citizens behind checkpoints. Let them pass along with us. The issue on the Burkina Faso issue, we have authorized, we have rating, not authorized, sorry. We have rating from a labor standpoint, we have rating the Ministry of Labor to go to Grand Gile and Nima County to find out who has now been given resident permit among the Burkina Faso, and those who have resident permit can now be given work permit. So pretty soon, the Labor Ministry will start a process for Grand Gile, Nimba, and other counties that have a little bit more than 1,000 Burkina Faso in those counties. Thank you very much.
Any question?
No question. Down the board, Senator Yaya, the chair on labor. Senator Musa, chair of defense. We take note. The senator mentioned some very concerning issues. We take note of that and we want to hear from the committee on defense in 1 week concerning the checkpoint issue. Senator, and also on the management of the electricity, if we don't have a report on Thursday, we'll bring the plenary will take seats on that matter, and that's the Tuesday. We'll have a committee of the whole to invite the entities here for hearing. Senator Bevel Brown. Senators, let me take note of that.
You say it now, what is so nice? I don't know. Yeah. Where you living? I live here. I don't know.
Thank you, Pro Tem. Distinguished colleagues, Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues, we want to use this time to bring greetings from the people of Maryland County. And please allow us to use this time to renew our commitment, our dedication to the people of Maryland. To the people of Maryland County.
It's in process. It's in process.
Like I was saying, we want to use this time to appreciate the people of Maryland County for allowing us to be here. We want to also use this time to renew our commitment to them. We'll continue to serve them. Pro Tem, there are two issues I would like to flag. One is specific to Maryland County and the other is general. For the one that is specific to Maryland County, in 2010, when I was serving as superintendent of that county, the governor of Liberia passed two concessions for that county, the Kavala Rubber Corporation and the Maryland Oil Palm Plantation. Provisions of those two concessions call for a review after 5 years of operations. Pro Tem, we are in 2026. It is about 16 years when these two concessions started to operate. There have been no review of the two concessions. Whilst I was on our break, I received a petition from a group of citizens asking the government of Liberia to review the two concessions. As chair of the Maryland Legislative Caucus, we have had meetings and we agreed that the two concessions be reviewed in the interest of our people and also in the interest of the concessionaires themselves. So one day, by our authority, I want to bring this to the attention of the Committee on Concessions to see how we can proceed, how we can approach the executive to see how we can radically review these two concessions. The second issue, Pro Tem, I would like to flag is something that has to do with our health services, health delivery. During the budgetary process in December, I attended a session when the Ministry of Health presented its budget. And Pro Tem, in the review process, we went through the outturn of the Ministry of Health. And I was discouraged that most of the health centers, hospitals, have now received up to 50% of the budgetary allotments for 2025. And Pro Tem, I want to thank you for your leadership and this plenary. I had not been here for the intervention of this plenary last year, wherein we invited the county health officers and the Ministry of Health. Probably what you got, they will not have gotten. So it's a serious issue. Approving budgets is one thing. But for the Ministry of Finance to release the money to these institutions, pro-tem is another thing. So I want to encourage you, pro-tem, request you to use your leadership again. Probably by April of this year, to invite the CHOs again and the Ministry of Health, or we should give a specific mandate to the chair and the Committee on Health to kindly monitor this on our behalf, because the hospitals, the clinics, the health centers are now receiving what has been appropriated for them for their own operations in our counties. It's hurting the counties, it's hurting the health system, and our intervention is needed so that the situation can be improved. Thank you, Pro Tem, for your leadership. Thank you, colleagues. I so submit.
Thank you for giving us the award.
That was the voice of the chair on ROA, the recent award winner. So, Senator Wagner, I think we need to repeat that exercise. But we need to work with Senator Prince Boyd, the chair on Ways, Means and Finance. They got a status report on payment that went to the referral hospitals and us staying well with our man. And then we can call everybody back here to give our final mandate. Yeah. Thank you. The referral hospitals need to get paid on time. I think we should make that a priority. Please follow that. Who's next on the podium? Senator Tyler, followed by Senator Lukwin.
There's accountability issue here. There's accountability issue here. I care about how people in the community.
Pro Tem, colleagues, the ladies, Happy New Year for those of you who have just seen since the beginning of the new year. I want to thank all of you for your words of consolation, your prayers, and for identifying with our family for the loss of our mother. We remain grateful to you, and you demonstrated that we are a family. At least some of you show up doing the 7-day exercise. And Pro Tem, the people of Mommy in Western Liberia want to express thanks and appreciation for your leadership in the Liberian Senate for the development that is supposed to be in our region beginning this year, hopefully. We are happy that the construction or rehabilitation of the road will start sometime this year, leading from Seaport Bridge to Clay and the Water South, and from Medina to Ravenscourt and Clay to Tubmanburg. But with all of that, we want to register here that until we close Mapolo, the rest of the region will not be complete. So Mr. Chair of the Public Works Committee, as per your promise, our people are knocking our doors. Pay your statement. But give me the form of a promise. But I want to thank you all in all, and we are grateful. On the side of the legislative projects, they give me a protest. Thank you for reintroducing the legislative projects. I see in the Western region, I want to believe, for most part of the country, the handbags of the lawmaker can be visible. From the end of the Commerce Committee, there are two issues that I want to lift quickly. First is the issue of the Liberian Basic Registry. The Liberian Basic Registry is supposed to be, or it is, a simply semi-autonomous agency. But over the year, the Ministry of Commerce or the ministers before now have controlled everything, which makes it difficult for the LBR to perform its role. What we've done as an oversight is to be able to bring them together. And I want to believe in this new year, beginning with this budget, that we'll be able to perform their rightful role. They need to spread out through the counties, especially in the service centers, but they cannot do so under the Ministry of Commerce providing all of the supervision. So we'll work closely with them to ensure that happens. The Ministry of Commerce also is embarking on recruitment of inspectors. As we speak to you, there are very few inspectors. Most of you from the counties will attest to the fact that there are hardly inspectors in the counties, and all due to budgetary constraints. In this new year, they have endeavored to ensure that they recruit inspectors to carry on those duties. Colleagues, let me say, we were elected to perform a duty for the Liberian people. And let us continue to do that. I think and I believe that we are doing just that. It may not be realized now, whether they have the crisis now, but I can say for the last 2 years, given what I've seen, the legislature is doing its part. Let us continue. There will be naysayers, but let us continue to do the work of the people that elected us. Thank you. God bless you.
Madam Protect, distinguished police of the President, I want to join various speakers to welcome all of you back. I'd like to begin also by thanking Madam Protect, members of the Senate, to a large extent for seeing it fit to legislate an amendment to the Decent Work Act. Many times we stood here and we created the indulgence of the Senate to consider the amendment that was before us, which was intended to address the issue of retirement pension pay. Honor the current Decent Work Act. When an employee is retired, and that employee is referred to the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation for pension pay. Honor the old law. When they were retired, they got 40% of their salary. But under the Decent Work Act, they are referred to the NASCA on grounds that their employers contribute to their pension package to NASCO. The workers themselves reported to us that was grossly unfair. They complained many times, and we also realized that it was the fact that it was grossly unfair to the workforce of this country. So we embarked on a process to amend the Decent Work Act and provide pension benefit for all employees. That amendment calls for 50% of the average salary for the last 5 months to be paid to a retiree for the number of months worked. That means 50% of your average salary for the number of years worked. That means 1 month for every year worked. So we legislated that forwarded it to the House of Representatives, and my information is as provided by the Secretary of the Senate is that the Senate can call with us. And that amended act is on its way to the President for his approval. Once approved, it's going to go in full swing, and that is going to bring relief to the workforce of this country. So we want to say thank you, Madam Pro Tem and members of the Assembly. The second thing I'd like to talk about has to do with the action that we took here during our last sitting, where we review the petroleum pricing structure and then recommended to the President so that that pricing structure will be reorganized. It was restructured, reorganized. And then 11 cents will be set aside both for support to county roads and for social services. 13 million or a little over 13 million of that money, which is around $16+ million, will go to the different counties and support the county road equipment, taking into consideration that the government embarked on a process to bring road equipment for all of our counties. What we haven't been able to do is to finalize the utilization of this money. My fear is if we don't put into place the appropriate policy decisions or measures, there may be a single tendency income tax for the bulk of the money or the utilization of this money might be concentrated in one or two counties at the expense of other counties. We need to have a conversation with the Minister of Public Works and all those involved so that we clearly spell out the utilization of this money or the entitlement of each county with this money. So, Madam President, as we are here, that is extremely important for us to have a conversation and have it finalized. We also like to state quite clearly one issue that we raised, Madam President, we want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to take the lead to chair the committee, which has to do with contracts entered into by agencies in the executive branch of government that violate existing laws. Some of those contracts include the one with immigration, on resident permit, the one with labor work permit, medtech. If you read the revenue code, section 22.1, if I'm not mistaken, these are fees that were prescribed in the revenue code to be paid by those who utilize the services of these government agencies. And the laws specifically state that these fees are to be deposited in the consolidated account, and from that consolidated account, the legislature will make appropriation for the general purposes of government. That is not the case. These executive agencies, contrary to that, enter into contractual agreements. By the terms of those agreements, those fees are not going to the consolidated account. They establish escrow account, they collect those monies, put them in the escrow account, they derive their own distribution mechanism. And in many instances, those distribution mechanisms are grossly unfair to the government. So we intend to proceed with our investigation as requested by this plenary through the leadership of the protem, and then bring the report to you for determination. Finally, I'd like to talk about one issue that has to do with employment, mainly in the health and educational sectors of our country. Those employments are heavily decentralized. In our counties, we don't have details. Take for instance, I come from where we have a public high school. Most of the people are volunteers, not only in that school, but in many other schools and many other health facilities. Most of the workforce, government workers there are volunteer workers. You have few of them who are on payroll. But it's extremely difficult for us to know those who are employed and assigned to those institutions. The employment list is not decentralized. During the time of the budget deliberations, we had these conversations with the heads of these agencies and requested them to make the list available in the counties. Take for instance, we are in Wera Public High School. At least the PTA should have the list of employees assigned to Wera Public High School. If it's in Kakata, the PTA, the county education officer, the office of the county education officer, should have the detailed list of all those employed at the different institutions. That is not the case, and it makes monitoring, even for us as members of the legislature, to exercise our oversight to know as to whether those who are employed to work in our counties at the different institutions, whether we cannot do that effectively. So my important distinguished colleagues, we also need to follow up on this issue so that detailed employment list in both health and education can be made available at the county level so that we all can monitor. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Senator Nukwe, for those very important points. For the petroleum pricing structure, I think that committee needs to continue the work. We need to continue the work to make sure we come up with the policy that money should be spent in the different counties. Can we do that in 1 week?
Yeah, can we
do that in 1 week?
Yeah.
Yes, Secretary of Senate, please take note. And the issue about the decentralization of government employee list is very key. We've asked to review harmonization. I would like to get an update on that when Senator Moy or Senator Connor is speaking today. But I think we need to add that component to that joint committee to make sure that we can include that in our reform programs. So to deal with the escrow and consolidated their accounts, I hope you also took notes. We took notes, and those are issues that we need to discuss and make sure that they are done properly. Thank you. Anybody else to the podium? Senator Chairman.
Thank you. Again, let me say a pleasant good afternoon, colleagues.
Good afternoon, Chairman.
Can I have a perfect decorum, please?
that need protection. Reporting from Sino. I want to again say thank you for the opportunity to man the podium to speak about what's obtaining in my county, Sino. But before I speak to that, let me point out quickly that every time we come back here and are engaged in this kind of dialogue, we don't see the effect of that. It's not in our policy action, not in our policy decision, and not reflected in the budget. I remember where we came here and we said XYZ is obtaining in our county, and that becomes a policy issue that translates into the formulation of the budget. It doesn't happen. I think it's something that we will think about. We'll bring the issues to the attention of plenary. It means that something should be done about them. Probably a committee should be set up to look into them and see what practically can be done about these problems. So again, I want to speak about the problems in my county. I spoke here before about the discontinuation. Before I used to say store, but it's no longer stored. Road projects are no longer stored. We have a pavement work for the major streets in our city, Greenville. The Sino Street, the street named after our county. We started in 2022, 2023, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. And the Mississippi Street, the original or the first street in our county. The extension of the Mississippi Street, that also started. Stopped for some time, and now I can say discontinued. I have knocked on the doors of the chair for public works. The public works minister came here many times. We spoke about this matter, and he promised that something will be done. It's in the budget now. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So indeed, we're happy that at least, because I spoke with the minister, you know, it's something else. We're going to make sure that at the end of the day, the turnout will show that. That's important. You know, to be in the budget is one thing, but to make sure that, because it's been in the budget for some time. This time we're going to make sure that the turnout will show that the work, you know, has been done. The money was expended and the work has been done. Very important. So that's why I want to stress that. Another problem I want to we have identified, I want to talk about is the remittance of the county social development fund. I don't know about other counties, but Sino County has not received that for many years now. I don't know what's the problem, and we think that something should be done about that. The only money that we have received for some time is a county development fund, but county social development money, Sino has not received for a good time, a good while now. So, Mr. Chair of the protest, and bring that to the attention of the plenary so that we look into it. All right? So please, we need to look into that. Please look into that. We know that many counties are benefiting from social development money, and they are doing a lot of development in their counties, and Sino should not be an exception. We need that money, and please let's ensure that that is done. Another problem identified, because going from district to district, the local people, the local government authorities in the county have informed me that their salaries have been reduced. Can we look into that? The local government authority, local government officials in the county have informed me that the salaries have been reduced. That now they are receiving, especially commissioners, all of them, commissioners, district superintendents, all of them receiving the same salary of, according to them, that is verifiable, of $85 below what they used to receive, and 6,000 for some, 7,000 Liberian dollars for others. That is $85. You're talking about county, you're talking about district superintendents and commissioners, all earning the same salary, which you say is less than what they earned before or their predecessors earned. $85 and 6,000 to 7,000 Liberian dollars per month. Can we also look into that? Because we are told, it's no secret because it's public information, that no one in this government makes less than $150 US. So let's verify that if they are lying so that we know that. But I believe my people, they're not lying. Because some of them show me their accounts, information, and what have you. So please, let's look into that. I want to piggyback on Senator Brown about the allotment for the county health teams. For Sino, I don't know about the counties. The last time they received allotment, the last allotment they have received is the second quarter allotment. They have not received the third quarter. They have not received the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter in December, second, third quarter, and then September. They have not received the third quarter. They have not received the fourth quarter. And most even they received they just recently received the second quarter. Can you imagine you have to run the health facilities for almost a year before getting a dime? How do we expect this institution to function? Every time we blame them for the efficiency of what happened. I think this report is coming from the Ministry of Finance. Can we do something about that? To ensure that these governments are expended in time so that our people, so the health sector can work and have the needed. The money is already inadequate, so that it's given on time to ensure that they have the financial capability to do or execute their functions. Another recurring theme is that of the volunteer teachers and volunteer health workers. That is very prevalent. Let me underscore that. That's prevalent in China. There are too many volunteer health workers, many in the clinics all across the county, and too many volunteer teachers who are not committed because they're not on payroll. Some of them have been in that situation for many years, and because of that, there's still a level of despondency. They're not committed. Every time they promise that they will make it on the payroll, the fiscal year will come, the budget will come, no action is taken. So it's a serious situation. You not believe that in a school of 700 students, 600 students, there is just one paid teacher. Paid teacher. Are you with me? In a school of 700, 600, 700 students, there's one paid teacher. The rest of the teachers are volunteer. They don't even go to school. Some of them have to go to school. We need to address that. Let's go beyond the rhetorics. Let's address the practical problems that are affecting our governance. Very important. Teachers for our schools. Our children need to learn, they need quality education. How do they get that? How? Most of our teachers are employed. We brought up matter here before. At the end of the day, we left it without resolving it. The Minister of Education will come, we say, hey, look, there are volunteer teachers in the system. There are teachers who get on the payroll here, they are employed, but everything is so centralized. They get on the payroll here in Monrovia, people put their friends, whoever they want to put on payroll here in Monrovia, send them to the counties without a commitment to stay. They get to the county, they use that UNE as a conduit to get on government payroll. When they get in the county, the next thing they're thinking about is transfer. Then they transfer. They transfer to Monrovia or places close to Monrovia. Colleagues, we are making salient points here. Can you please, I'm sure this problem is not unique to Sino. What I'm talking about is not unique to Sino. Then we need to address that this time. I want us to address that this time. Let's address the issue of volunteer teachers this time. Let's address the issue of volunteer health workers this time. Let's address the issue of the absence of paid teachers in our schools. The absence of teachers in our schools. The absence of health workers in the health sector. We need to address that. That's governance. Those are the things that affect our people. The daily lives of our people. When they are sick, they run to the clinic. The children go to school. That's how they feel governance. That's how they feel governance. Other than that, what do they get? We need to look at these issues very, 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 very seriously. I beg you, please. Let's do something about that.
Thank you.
Finally.
So I have to leave quickly.
Finally.
Senator,
let me finish my protest before. Finally. We have a very serious issue with the rule of law. As chairman of the Judicial Committee, I want to speak to the issue of the near breakdown of rule of law in our country. Can I repeat that? The near breakdown of the rule of law in our country. We need to double up. We need, as a body, we have a responsibility to ensure that our country is governed well. And one of the ways to do that is to abide by our Constitution and all of our legal frameworks, Constitution and our statutory laws. We see the daily breaches of our laws with impunity. So then where is our oversight? The recent cases where the police or where the Inspector General of Police will determine, use a discretion to determine which case in which case to effect an arrest and in which case not to effect an arrest of a criminal suspect. The laws are clear about the circumstances, the condition under which a suspected criminal can be arrested. Our laws talk about reasonable suspicion. Generally, laws talk about probable cause. So we had a case where somebody, a government official, raped a 14-year-old. Allegation. So, and nothing has been done about that. We need to use our oversight to deal with this matter. Why you like it or not? We need oversight in this matter. And the same police from IG in the first one, you have a deal with
Senator
Yes, I will tell you our mouth, but stop. Thank you.
Radical movement.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Colin. We take it that the chairman of the judiciary will be putting himself to a own committee. You have authority for oversight. The committee on any committee here has authority to cite, summon, invite, head of agencies. Please, Dr. Awomini, we need authority. Committees have had public hearings and committee meetings with sector institutions. The Foreign Affairs Committee have brought the Minister of Foreign Affairs here for 6 hours in public hearing, not for communal hearing, public hearing on the sector, on the foreign affairs sector. The chairman of the judiciary, of which I am a member, have the duty and authority to perform this oversight rather than the kind of committee statement we made here that is wanted to make that point clear and sit down and what is happening.
So you want to strike it on the record?
Is that on the record already? So it's done for it. What is that, Senator?
I've been argument.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, let's go.